So Jay and viewers, this is the first time that we are talking about this. We are standing in front of what was our Cub cars. You can notice that there's construction being done here. This ride is going to be put on the shelf for a little while. The Cub cars were little kiddie go-karts, and we don't think they're gone forever, but the reason that Cub cars are no longer here is because this is the brand new home.
Today I'm coming to you from one of my favorite places, none other than here at Knoebels Amusement Resort, right here in Elysburg, Pennsylvania. Joining me on this cool and cloudy day here in April is a friend of mine. Her name is Stacy from the PR department here at Knoebels, and we are teaming up once again to give you a behind-the-scenes look and early preview of their 98th season of opening weekend, which is just around the corner. Now, Stacy, I know there's been a lot of work and updates completed in the off-season. Can you give us just a brief preview of what we're going to be checking out today?
Sure. Well, so first of all, thank you so much, Jay, for coming
My
back
pleasure.
here. This has now become something that I look forward to,
Yeah, me too.
hopefully every year now. And like you said, we're just about ready to open here. And today we're going to talk about some exciting updates like the reemergence of Power Surge, an update on Byron Curve, some work we're doing on the Flume, and the brand new home of the Rocco plane. Of course, it wouldn't be a visit to Knoebels if we didn't talk about some of the exciting food updates in the park.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that too.
Absolutely.
I did see a preview on Facebook about a new food item, which is going to be just over here, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Now, those of you who may not know, I want to ask you, Stacey, I did hear rumors about a ride here that's been closed for a few years. It's more like an attraction, but it is considered a ride. And it's been closed for a few years, but it was said to never open again. But due to popular demand, it's actually going to be saved. Is that correct?
Let's talk about that today for sure.
Can we see it later?
Absolutely.
Okay. One last thing is, are you ready to go?
I am ready to go.
I'm ready to go. If you are too, then just come along with us. Yeah, it's a more prominent location when you first enter the park.
It is. It's a location that you will notice that something is missing.
Yeah. Even from like Hall of Fun time, I noticed something was here and now it's gone. So
there was.
There's like a big empty space now.
There is. So here we are at what looks to be an area of the park that is under construction, and that's because it is. It is in a very prominent area of the park right along our main boulevard here. And guests to the park during our main summer season probably noticed the Power Surge here. During our fall season, we actually debuted a brand new ride in this spot called the Rocco plane. It is once again empty. So where did the Rocco plane go?
I'm wondering that myself.
We're definitely going to talk about that later. The Knoebels family has picked a location for it. Very exciting. But what is going back in this spot? A brand new Power Surge. So we have purchased a brand new Power Surge that will debut this year. All components of the ride are currently on site. The reason that it's empty is that the previous model had been a transportable model. The model that we purchased to replace it is a permanent model, so that required some more foundation work to be done here, and we're in the process of working on that. So while this will not open for opening day, we are in the process of working on the foundation and have all the ride components here, so guests to the park this summer season will see it in operation and be able to enjoy it.
Now I know with the previous Power Surge, it was running under like limited operability, where it wasn't rotating the arm like it normally was.
Yes.
So it was having some issues, but this one's going to be fully functional, correct?
It will be, absolutely. And the color package of the ride itself will be the same. It will have a brand new light package on it, an LED light package, so it will give guests the full Power Surge experience. This was an area of the park, of course, especially at night, that ride really lit up the Midway. So we are excited to be able to bring it back and let the next generation of riders
I remember
enjoy
when
it.
I was here last season, I think it was maybe Hall of Fun nights, when it was operating, I got some great slow shutter shots of it in action. It just looks so awesome with the light package on it.
It is beautiful.
So I'm excited to see the new one as well. I don't ride this ride, but I like to watch it. We're at our next location here. Now, this is not a ride that really went under a major rehab, but it has been updated for this season, and it's the first time it's been updated since it's been installed. I'll let Stacy tell you the rest.
A lot of the projects that we do in the off season are to maintain what we already have, make sure that it, of course, functions perfectly, but also looks beautiful. So Impulse has not been repainted since we opened it in 2015. This off season, it was one of the rides in the park that received a brand new paint job. It really looks incredible when you're driving down Knoebels Parkway and just see it restored to its natural brightness. It's just a hive of activity. There's equipment everywhere and team members putting the finishing touches on everything.
There's probably a long list of things to do in a short amount of time.
Oh my goodness, there is. But our team is absolutely incredible. They all know what they're supposed to do. And of course, we're busy with things like hiring and onboarding all of the new team members and welcoming back our returning. We're really excited to say that this year, any rides that you don't see immediately operational, it is not due to staffing. Our staffing looks beautiful for this year. So, you know, if something is closed, then it's a scheduled refurbishment or, you know, in some instances, waiting for parts.
Okay, that's good to know. I know a lot of people like to go to that excuse, like, oh, they don't have enough people.
No.
But it seems like you guys rectified that problem.
We have, and we're so thankful for the team members that are rejoining us. We had well over 1,000 people at our first 2 rehire meetings that are returning from last year. So
yeah, that's
it was a great start.
Awesome. So Stacy, one of the big rides that was talked about and looked at last year was the Bayern Curve, which was supposed to debut in 2023, but obviously came to some delays. Can you tell us where it stands today?
Sure. So restoration of the ride components itself is complete. So we are really excited about that. We have redesigned the entire control system of the ride. So what that means is that the original version of this ride, each car had its own PLC. Now the ride will be controlled by a single PLC with a motor in each of the cars, but that changed things up a little bit for us. Obviously, we didn't get it open last year like we had hoped, but there was a lot of restoration going on behind the scenes. So, you know, a lot of people saw this here and it looked like there wasn't a whole lot of progress being made, but our team has been working on the project behind the scenes. We have cars that have been completed. And so what's next? People keep asking, what about the Bayern Curve? And we will definitely focus now on completing the ride assembly. We will do extensive testing then once we complete the programming of that control system. So of course we want to get everything up and running in the park that we have already, and that was one of the delays from last year, is that we had some other large scale projects that we had to allocate our team members to, like the Skyway, which happily reopened last year. So once we are able to allocate some of our resources to finishing up the final pieces of this, we will do extensive testing. So definitely this summer you'll see it running, and we look forward to being able to introduce it. You just never know when you're doing a refurbishment of something like this, what you're going to encounter, or even supply chain issues with materials to finish the refurbishment, but there has been progress made, I'm happy to say.
And you did announce last year, and I want to see if it still holds true, this is going to be the fastest ride in the park, correct?
It will be the fastest ride in the park. That topic creates a little bit of, a little bit of arguments back and forth between people saying it is impossible for a park to operate it at 70 miles per hour. So the ride is capable of speeds of 70 miles an hour based on the motors within the individual cars. We will certainly operate it as fast as safely possible. We won't know for sure the exact speed that we'll be operating it at, but we can promise you that we will operate it as fast as safely possible.
And right now, currently the fastest is Impulse?
It is.
So it's going to top that?
It will top Impulse.
All right, looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too.
So as we're driving to our next location, I did have something I wanted to talk to you about regarding the Haunted Mansion.
Sure.
Now, as we all know, last year was the 50th anniversary, the big celebration event that took place, and you guys offered a lot of food items, merchandise, and even a pretty big revamp to the ride itself.
Yes.
Now, the one thing I want to know is, hopefully if you know, is that I know Drew and the caretakers often like to do some subtle changes from season to season.
Yes.
Do you know if anything has been changed from last season to this one?
You will notice some changes. I think I might have talked about this with you before, but as a kid, that was always one of the first rides that I look forward to visiting at the start of the new season. Mm-hmm. And my sister and I would just ride through to see if we could figure out what the changes were.
Right, I'm the same way actually.
Yes, so there will be changes made. So you're gonna have to check it out
Ride it
opening
and see?
day, yep, to see what those changes are.
And the other thing regarding the merchandise and the food items, do you know if they're going to be continued into this season?
So you will definitely see some merchandise continued into this season. We will not continue the food items. We will be celebrating another anniversary of a food stand within the park.
Okay.
So we could talk about that in a little bit.
Sure.
So Jay and viewers, this is the first time that we are talking about this. We are standing in front of what was our Cub cars. You can notice that there's construction being done here. This ride is going to be put on the shelf for a little while. The Cub cars were little kiddie go-karts, and we don't think they're gone forever, but the reason that Cub cars are no longer here is because this is the brand new home of Rocco Plane. So it will not make opening weekend, but we are in the process of preparing removal of Cub cars. Next will be some of the foundation work, and then throughout the summer season here, you will see Rocco Plane in its new home right in front of Phoenix.
All right. Now, Stacy, we were just talking briefly off camera. You were saying about some of the rides here having Onride Photos, one of them being right here, the Gasoline Alley, better known as Antique Cars.
Yes.
And you said that the actual photo location is going to be changing due to the Rocco Plane installation of the ride. So what can we expect with that?
Sure, so brand new for last year, one of your favorites, the Haunted Mansion, received an on-ride photo, as well as the Antique Cars. With Rocco Plane being moved to this area, we have to move the on-ride photo for it. So it is currently just beyond this turn up here. It will be moved closer to the pine trees for a nice scenic background. And guests have been wondering, how do we purchase these pictures? There are certain stands throughout the park at some of the rides that have on-ride photos, like the Flume and Impulse. But all you have to do is just note the approximate time that you rode the ride and go to any of our photo stands in the park, and our lovely team will be able to look up those photos for you. And we have some really neat packages as far as on-ride photos go. Last year, some of our guests discovered that we have a season pass for photos in the park. So that's definitely a great opportunity to preserve all those memories with on-ride photos.
All right. So I know you guys shared some information on Facebook about this, but what more can you tell us about the one of two water rides here, the Log Flume?
So the Log Flume underwent a massive restoration. So guests won't notice in particular anything different about the ride, but again, one of those things that this is a fan favorite ride here, especially on a hot summer day. And we want to maintain what we have that we know our guests just absolutely love. So this whole horseshoe area at the top was completely refurbished, and we are still working on it. As you can see, the components that are up there right now are actually being reinstalled. So the vast majority of the project has been completed, and we expect the ride to reopen around Memorial Day weekend.
So we're at another familiar area of the park known as the Mill area, correct?
Yeah, so this is one of the most iconic snack stands in the park for sure. People just love that water wheel. This was actually a cottage many, many years ago.
Really?
Yes, it was. But as the park continued to grow, of course, we decided to make it something to serve our guests within the park. And this year, it is celebrating its 50th anniversary. So it seems like this area of the park really started to build itself up, right within that 50-year mark, with us celebrating the mansion's 50th last year. So this year, we are celebrating with 2 signature sundaes, and we did something really cool here with our team. So we were able to submit a special signature flavor idea, and then our team got together at our staff meeting to welcome in the new season, and we got to taste test all of the flavors that were selected as the top flavors. So
for some reason I didn't get that memo, because I would have attended myself.
It was a rough day at work that day. So we voted on it, and actually Sharon, who is better known as the flower lady here at the park, her and her team make this park look absolutely beautiful. She apparently has talents in developing brand new ice cream flavors too. So the brand new flavor that will be available all season long is called Roaring Creek Ripple, very appropriate. It is a banana base with fudge swirl, peanut butter swirl, and chocolate chunks.
That's going to be available only here at the Old Mill?
Yes.
All right, I'll be trying that this year.
So the Paratrooper here, another classic ride, is undergoing a restoration. It will not make opening day, but we're in the process, as you can see, of working on it. We do a lot of restoration during our off season. The teacups here aren't currently reassembled. That was another one of those rides that we completely restored in the off season. So, in addition to providing new rides, new installations, new food items, new merchandise, we also lovingly care for everything that we have here at the park.
Keep it in top shape.
We do.
Stacy, right now we're in a place that you brought me to last year that was undergoing some work to be completed, and it looks like it is finished today. You want to tell everyone what this is? It
is. So we are in our character meet and greet area. It is the first ever designated meeting area where you can meet Cosmo and friends. We had it open throughout our fall season last year, so a lot of our early season and summer season guests did not get a chance to visit. It will be open daily this year. So our artists did some amazing work. It is a hand-painted mural and hand-sculpted trees and the fireplace, and our carpenters, of course, built the cabin here. So it is a nice place to be guaranteed to meet Cosmo and friends.
Now, will there be any type of schedule as to who's going to be in here when?
Yeah, so you could find our schedule on Knoebels.com or by downloading the Knoebels app. The hours might change from day to day, but we'll be sure to keep that updated so you can plan that into your visit.
So where'd you bring me to?
We are what we are calling Creekside Coffee. So this is at the site of what was formerly Roaring Creek Saloon. Now you will be able to get a brand new food item for this year called the Liege Waffles. And the waffles, because of the type of sugar in it, are very, very puffy and delicious, super sweet. And there will be various toppings for the waffles. So in addition to that, you can of course get your favorite coffee type beverages here.
I see you have some other sweets like cake balls and chocolate chip brownie as well.
Yes, absolutely. So we have well over a dozen new food items here at the park. We always are trying to develop new items and maintain that golden ticket award for best amusement park food in the world. One of the other options that guests will be likely very happy to hear about, for years people have been asking us to bring back more of our Mexican food items at the International Food Court. So we will be bringing back our platters at the Mexican stand in that area of the park as well. We will have buffalo chicken fries at our patio grill, and at our pizza stand we have some exciting new additions there. My personal favorite is the pizza flight. So you will be able to get 4 different types of pizza in a flight.
So it's almost like a little variety plate.
It is. So you get the best of all the worlds.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll be trying that too. It just keeps adding to the list.
Yes.
Keeps growing.
You have to visit sometimes just for the food.
How are they pronounced? Liege?
Liege waffles.
Liege waffles.
Yes.
That is something new to me, but I will be trying it. Is it going to be here opening day?
It will be.
All right, I'll be trying it and sharing it with all of you.
Yeah.
And here's a look many don't see is a park full of vehicles.
Yes.
Normally it's crowds and crowds of people.
A lot of work being done. Just the sheer volume of projects that get done here, whether the painting and maintaining and building new benches.
Now, is a lot of the work done in-house?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We have about between 150 and 160 full-time team members that are here year-round. And sometimes we get asked, well, what do you do when the park is closed? And
there's always something to do.
there is always something to do.
Now, if you guys were paying attention to the intro part of the video, I did ask Stacy a question about a ride that was rumored to be closed permanently, but is being saved by popular demand. And we're actually at it right now. Can you guess what it is?
We are at the Skyslide. During our challenges of COVID-19, some of our rides, we had to make choices of what rides we would staff. We struggled a whole lot with what we were able to open, and this was one of the rides, unfortunately, that wasn't a large capacity ride, and we just couldn't put a lot of focus on the ride itself. In the years since, there had been discussions of what we were going to do with the ride. Is it a ride that, it wasn't a legacy ride here at the park, we didn't need to keep it, but our guests told us otherwise. It was something that guests kept reaching out about and saying, I enjoyed this ride as a kid. I really want to take my kids on this ride. And we heard them. And when we announced we were bringing it back, we got the reaction that we were hoping for in listening to that guest feedback. We had people reach out to us and say, this just made my whole week. I can't wait to come back and enjoy it with my child. So we are happy to be able to make this happen. Guests won't notice any work being done until later this season. So sometime this fall, there will be some activity here, and we look forward to bringing it back for the next generation of guests.
Now, a fun fact, which I don't have all the details on, but hopefully you can fill in the blanks, but before being a Skyslide, this was actually a different attraction, correct?
It was actually a space simulation ride. So it was laid down on its side, and guests would actually enter into the ride. They were shown a space travel video and provided with what was called space food, which were just little wafers. And eventually that kind of fell by the wayside, and as we do many things here in the park, we repurposed it and turned it into the coolest slide that I certainly have ever seen.
And I have to say, this is a slide that you get some good speed on too, and you slide down on burlap mats, correct?
Yes,
and you basically climb up the inside like a spiral staircase, you exit on top, and you slide all the way down the exterior portion, and eventually coming down this slide pad here. And when I come down, I usually make it almost all the way to the end.
So this might be one of the best parts of our visit here today at the park. We have a special guest. We have Mr. Dick Knoebel, who is the president of the park. He, along with other 3rd, 4th, and 5th generation family members, helped make this place what it is.
It takes all of us and other people such as Stacy and many people you can't see It takes hundreds. We strive to make this the finest family park in the United States. And welcome, because our season will soon be starting on April 27th.
Woohoo!
And my birthday's the next day.
It's always a double celebration.
Yeah, and also, the Pennsylvania State Legislature has designated April 28th as Knoebels Amusement Park Day in Pennsylvania.
Fantastic.
Yep, we had a great thing in the legislature on Tuesday.
So this is a place I've never visited before. What do we have here?
So we are in the low sensory room, and during COVID, when we were unable to open our laser command building, we actually had a low sensory area within the lobby of that building. As we were able to open more and more and reopened our laser command building, we didn't want to lose out on this space for our guests who have special needs. So the Knoebel family, after some discussion, decided to bring in a brand new building so that our guests who have special needs and need a little bit of a break from the environment of an amusement park can come in here. And it's a climate controlled room with some sensory friendly activities, and hopefully it helps our guests who might be able to utilize the space to spend some extra time in the park after some cool down in here.
And where can folks find this in relation to the park?
Sure. So the low sensory room is in the area of the park that was formerly the Lost Logger area. So some of the wood carvings were done in this area back near our kiddie area of the park, where the blacksmith and the S&G carousel is. So it's just a nice, calm, quiet area of the park. And we were happy to be able to bring in a more permanent option for this.
Right now we're in front of one of two wooden coasters, the newest of the two, none other than Twister, which actually is marking an anniversary this year, correct?
It is hard to believe, but Twister turns 25 this year, which might make some of us feel a little old.
Definitely.
So Twister is one of our 3 wooden roller coasters here at the park, and to celebrate the 25th anniversary, definitely keep an eye out for some special merchandise to commemorate it. You can never have too much Twister merchandise, for sure. We've done, just like we do every year, of course, some refurbishment on all 3 of our wooden roller coasters. The #1 wooden roller coaster in the world, Phoenix, our Flying Turns, which is the only wooden bobsled style roller coaster in the world, and Twister. Last year we did an extensive refurbishment on the Double Helix, and this year guests will notice on our what we call our upper PA, because it overlooks Pennsylvania Avenue and our campground, the turn around upper PA. So we are always lovingly maintaining our wooden roller coasters. We have a large maintenance team for each of the 3 wooden roller coasters, and they are the reason that the coasters are in tip-top shape.
And where can guests find that merchandise when it's available?
Sure. So we actually have, right behind you, Jay, we have a stand. It's one of the photo stands in the park, but also right next door to it, we have a merchandise area for Twister.
All right. Is that merchandise going to be available opening weekend?
Not 100% sure about that just yet. Typically throughout our season, you'll notice new merchandise being introduced throughout the season. So it's always a good reason to come back and visit us, because we're always introducing something new.
So right now we're standing on one of the classic and iconic rides here, none other than the Grand Carousel, famous for grabbing the brass ring. Now, we were talking off camera, and I told Stacy to share it with you guys who are watching this video. We're just 2 years away from 100 years here at Knoebels, and she was telling me there's some things being planned. Do you want to elaborate a little bit more?
Sure. So we have formed a 100th anniversary committee and are in the process of forming some subcommittees. The family, some businesses have board meetings. Here at Knoebels, we have family meetings. So the Knoebels family has actually approved some projects in celebration of our 100th anniversary. We can't talk about them just yet. I'm sorry about that. But we are in the process of planning. Just 2 short years to go.
That'll be here in no time.
Yeah, and we'll absolutely celebrate the history and look forward to the future, to the next 100 years. And, certainly reflect on appreciation for all of the team members and you, the guests, who have helped us get to this point.
And I have to say it's a remarkable milestone, because I know of a lot of parks that don't make it that lifespan of 100 years. So, I mean, it just says about the quality and growth and family environment here at Knoebels that just keeps it going generation after generation.
Yes. Most family businesses do not make it this far, and we are a very healthy family business with currently 3rd, 4th, and 5th generation family members involved here at the park. So we are committed to making sure that never changes.
Mm-hmm. I've said time and time again that if I lived much closer, I'd probably be working here myself as a ride operator. But I still love coming to this park, and I really look forward to what we did today, this behind the scenes early preview look at what's to be expected for the upcoming season. So first off, I do want to say I wish you guys, all of Knoebels, a really great, fantastic season. I hope it's really successful like it always is.
Thank you, Jay.
And personally to you and all the Knoebels family for allowing me this unique opportunity to come here and give everyone a behind the scenes look before the park opens. It's, for me, I really, really appreciate it more than words can express. And it's something that actually satisfies my curiosity, because I'm always amped up, like when the season's coming closer, what's gonna be new, what's gonna change, what can I look forward to? And now myself and all of you have that answer. So just thank you so very much for that.
We look forward to it. Our guests like you are the reason that we do what we do. So when we get to talk about it, and then come April 27th, when we get to see everyone here enjoying the park, that really, that just re-energizes us, and it's the reason for why we do what we do.
Mm-hmm. I could definitely see the enjoyment in your face and everyone else that I talk to.
Love this place.
It's almost like it's not work. It's just a place they love being at and putting smiles on people's faces.
We love it.
Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed our early preview behind the scenes look at the 98th season here at Knoebels. If you can make it to the park, I highly encourage you to do so. It's worth a day trip here, spend a weekend here. And the fantastic thing about this place is you can use either tickets or wristbands, but there's absolutely no admission. You don't have to pay for parking. You can bring your own food. You can just come for the food if you want to. The possibilities are endless, and that's one of the things I love about this park, is I could come here to make videos, I could take pictures, just get something to eat, just do 1 or 2 rides.
Visit the crystal pool. You could spend a day at the pool enjoying the water slides.
Anything.
Camping if you're a camper. 2 of our beautiful campgrounds.
They do have cottages on site too, cabins, campsites. Everything's on the website, so if you want to get more information, check it out, which will be linked down below. But if you can't make it, definitely stay tuned to my channel. I will have a video from opening weekend, plus my additional visits throughout the year. I always make sure I focus on the Hotham Mansion, one of my favorite rides here, and anything new that does change and open up, such as maybe Bayern Curve during testing, Rocco Plane when it's actually in its new home, and other things. So stay tuned for that. But anyways, thanks for coming along with us as we checked out opening weekend here at Knoebels, just a short time away. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.